Title: The Misadventures of Captain Stubborn, A Tale of Malicious Compliance. In the quaint town of Bumblebee Bay, nestled between rolling hills and the crystalline sea, stood an imposing lighthouse. This lighthouse was notorious for its eccentric keeper, Captain Stubborn, a retired naval officer with a penchant for following rules to their absurd conclusion. One sunny afternoon, a group of mischievous tourists decided to take advantage of the open-door policy for the lighthouse and climb to the top. As they ascended the spiral staircase, they found Captain Stubborn waiting for them at the top, his mustache twirling with delight. "Ahoy there, hearties," he bellowed. "Welcome to my humble abode. I hope you've come prepared for an educational tour of this majestic lighthouse." The tourists exchanged anxious glances but nodded in agreement. Captain Stubborn then began his detailed explanation of the lighthouse's history and operation, pausing at one point to show off a particularly rare artifact, a brass bell from the age-old vessel HMS Fickle. "Now, I have a small request," said the captain. "This bell is precious, and I'd hate for it to get damaged during your visit. So, as a token of appreciation for following the rules, I shall grant you all a chance to ring the bell. But beware. Each ring costs a gold coin." The tourists looked at each other, hesitant but intrigued by the opportunity. One by one, they handed over their gold coins and took turns ringing the HMS Fickle's bell. As the final tourist rang the bell for the last time, Captain Stubborn clapped his hands together and declared, "Bravo. Now let us conclude our tour." As the tourists began their descent back down the lighthouse, they couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement at having rung the legendary HMS Fickle bell. However, little did they know that Captain Stubborn had one final rule to follow. At the bottom of the staircase, he stood with a grin on his face and a small sign in his hand. Rule: